Alright, howdy folks. Welcome back to Top Comics Pressing. We're going to have a send-off video here with only a couple of books in it. And really the goal of this submission is to just check out the new JSA authentication that CGC offers. For those of you that don't know, CBCS for a long time has offered signature authentication through Beckett. CGC had a hard no on that policy and had a pretty early line in the sand that their comic books labeled with the CGC signature series must have a CGC authorized individual physically witness that signature hitting the page for it to count for the gold label. That had been a pretty big sticking point in the kind of competition between CGC and CBCS because a number of autographs, both before the grading companies were ever in existence, so, you know, those kicked off in the early 2000s. CBCS just celebrated their 10th year as a company, and so anything before, you know, the year 2000 was always a non-witnessed autograph. And so a lot of collectors, I think, have been clamoring that CGC come up with something to fill that void. In the meantime, the CBCS verified signature has really been the only thing offered. This year, CGC acquired JSA, which is a longtime signature authenticator for sports memorabilia. And, you know, they've been present at a number of the other conventions also for celebrities and comic book artists. And so I think in the grand scheme of things, comic book signature authentication will be small peanuts for JSA compared to, you know, all of the celebrity and athletics merchandise that gets autographed and then authenticated. But nevertheless, I think it's a nice little wrinkle to roll under their umbrella. So I have not yet submitted, so this will be my first submission to the JSA series. I did submit a number of autographs to the CBCS series, and in all cases I submitted something, you know, that came back verified, authenticated. Part of the reason for that is I don't think that there's a whole lot of people going around faking most comic book creators' autographs, with a few exceptions maybe of Stan Lee or Jack Kirby. You know, a number of the creators are still with us, and many of those that have recently passed away spent, you know, a decade or more at Comic-Con signing, you know, comic books, interior, outside, you name it, really for decades. So anybody who's been to a major con where Kevin Eastman is, you know, there'll be the Kevin Eastman booth, and then there'll be the massive line of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans wrapping around to see Kevin Eastman, which is really awesome. Yeah, and a number of the other creators are the same way. And so that's really one of the treats of going to a Comic-Con. That being said, sometimes getting it graded right at the con. A lot of cons CGC is not at, nor is CBCS. Sometimes there is a third-party facilitator. Sometimes the third-party facilitator might be better than some of the other third-party facilitators. And so I've had a number of books that I've signed, thought about having, you know, somebody else handle the book, and decided against and just had it slabbed on my own. So I have a couple of unverified signatures that I personally witnessed in my PC, including on my Venom Lethal Protector #1, you know, which was pretty awesome. All right, so anyway, that brings us to the submission here. So this is a copy of the Avengers #1 from 2013 reboot. It's one of the Scotty Young covers here, where the Avengers are teaming up to get the cookies on the top of the shelf of the fridge there, or the freezer. And as somebody with an epic sweet tooth, I can empathize with their ingenuity trying to get their hands on the cookie jar. This particular copy I picked up at an LCS in their dollar bin. They said it was signed and it was just hanging out there. And I thought, you know, what the heck, we'll bring it home. And lo and behold, it looked like it was a pretty sharp copy. And so I'm going to send it, and I'm going to hope that I can get a 9.8 on this copy after it was pressed by yours truly. You'll notice this has the barcode sticker on it. So this is a 9.8 reject from our prior 9.8 screen, and so you can see that CGC does have some kind of internal identification for the books once they hit the CGC system, which I think is always nice to point out. But they will return those books to you then in the Mylar or whatever bag and board you send them in if they're rejected, and they will have a sticker. So I'm cheap, so I reuse them, especially because these are nice, you know, the Mylites with the full backer board. All right, next on up here is an Usagi Yojimbo #20. So this is the first appearance of Usagi Yojimbo's cousin, and when that hit out, there was, you know, more fanfare than normal for Usagi Yojimbo, in the sense that, you know, spectators were kind of going nuts at the LCSs, which is not usually something you see for Usagi Yojimbo. There is a deep and very passionate Usagi Yojimbo fan base, but it's not the kind of thing that your average comic book spectator runs to the LCS to buy out the whole shelf for. That being said, this one was released as a retailer incentive cover, and so, you know, for lower print volume books like Usagi Yojimbo or TMNT1, you know, relative to Batman or Spider-Man, you know, the retailer incentives are harder to find. And this one was purchased directly from Stan Sakai's Dogu webpage, and it was purchased there with the remark all in place. So he offered a limited number of them with the double remark of both characters on the retailer incentive cover. And so I splurged and treated myself to it. Since then, it's been sitting. Actually, it's double backed and boarded there in my box since, and I think it's about time that it gets slabbed. We're going to try out the new JSA authentication to do it. And the third book in here is the Usagi Yojimbo number 136. This is a limited retailer incentive variant, again, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Dark Horse. This is an incredibly rare book, so I think best I can tell it was limited to 1,000. It might even say that on the back. And you know, again, there weren't too many stores that hit that full 25 comic book order of Usagi Yojimbo, particularly because this one was near the end of the Dark Horse run. And for those of you that follow, usually as series kind of near their end, the subscription rates or pull rates go down. And so it took me many years to find my copy of this. As soon as I got this copy, another copy popped up on Comic Link as a 9.6, and I immediately bid that one up, bought that one, cracked it, and since I have a 9.8 of that one, and so that means I have a second copy, and so this copy can get moved along. It does have a very nice Stan Sakai Usagi remark and signature on the top. So I'm going to slab this one in the hopes that somebody else can enjoy the Stan Sakai artwork as well as the epic retailer incentive cover there. And so we've got, you know, kind of 3 books here, and that's really about it that we're going to send off to CGC and see how the new JSA authentication goes. So keep your fingers crossed. You know, we're looking for 9.8, 9.8. This one I know has a very small amount of damage to the back bottom corner and some light scuffing on the back, so I'm hoping for a 9.6 on this one. So keep your fingers crossed for me. All right, folks, we got another one back here from CGC, and so this should be 3 of the first books I've submitted to the new JSA signature authentication. And so let's rip this box on open here. Let's see, hopefully we've got a couple of really epic Usagi Yojimbo books in here, as well as kind of a fun Scotty Young book that I picked up. Here we go. Classic CGC bubble wrap. More classic CGC bubble wrap. It looks like they've done away with the single big mailer foam thing. So for a while there, they had, you know, smaller orders like this in those big, basically envelopes that you drop them in. They must have done away with that and gone back to their more classic bubble wrap. I'm all right with that. I thought the other systems were a little clunky, but I was going to roll with it. So no particular order here. Let's check this one out. This is Usagi Yojimbo number 20. So this is the 1 in 10 RI variant cover there, hitting the all-important 9.8 with an authenticated Stan Sakai signature and remark. So here's the signature, and we have 2 remarks on this one. So this one should be a pretty rare book to find in the 9.8 grade with the double remark and the signature. First appearance of Yukuchi, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm really bad at Japanese, but I appreciate it. And yeah, so that was pretty awesome. I'll take that all day long. That one might be a PC book. We'll probably hold on to that one. The next one on up here is going to be our Avengers number 1 here from the Scotty Young variant. And that one's also coming in at a 9.8 grade, which is exactly what we want. So that's pretty cool for a dollar bin find to be able to see the Scotty Young signature, pull it out, and then land a 9.8 verified signature on that. That one is definitely $1 well paid for. Of course, the CGC fees were way more than the book, but that's okay. And the last one up here is the very rare Usagi Yojimbo 25th anniversary. Actually, I think it's the Dark Horse anniversary in 2010. Yeah, because 2011, the 25-year anniversary there would... Is that right? No, maybe that is 25 years of Usagi Yojimbo. Yeah, because this is 40 this year, and so it's been 15 years. So yeah, no. Anyway, very cool book, very rare. Allegedly, these were limited to 1 in 1,000 all the way back in 2011. You very, very, very rarely, if ever, see this one up for auction or really listed anywhere, and so I was super stoked to be able to nail this one with the Stan Sakai signature and remark. 9.6 grade, you know, I'm bummed out about that, but I do think it's justified. If we flip it on over here, I knew that there were a couple of spine ticks, So let me just get my fingers lined up so we can hopefully see them in the camera. So there's 2 legit spine ticks right there, and there's a very little bit of wear to that corner I showed off before, I think, and some light wear to the back cover. So 9.6 is pretty fair for that, and all in all, that one is a excellent book for any Usagi Yojimbo fan. So really love that. So this one turned out pretty well. You know, 3 books back, 9.8, 9.8, and 9.6. That's about as good as you can hope for. And you know, really thrilled for this one in particular. That one's really excellent. So pretty sweet there all around. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Smash that subscribe button right down below. It's probably somewhere right in here. And of course, keep on collecting what you really enjoy. So, you know, I'm a pretty eclectic collector, all the way from some Golden Age Batman goodies. We've got some 90s Marvel, and then, you know, I'm a pretty big Usagi Yojimbo and Ninja Turtle collector, and so that covers Marvel, DC, Indies, Alts, whatever you want to call it. I've got some modern variant covers that I really enjoy, like the Simbi Oats here, which just cracked me up, and of course we have some of the other more valuable mega key issues that I showed off. So if you want to see those, go ahead and find the top 5 comics in my collection video I posted a little while ago, and you can see some of the mega books in the PC. So, all right, thanks everybody. Keep on collecting what you enjoy, and stay tuned for another video from Top Comics Pressing.